My name is Barry. For all of you that are new, I am a Moroccan oil professional colorist, and I am here showing some highlighting techniques to help give you a very beautiful blended diffused look. Hi. Hello, hello. Hi. So I'm using our Blonde Voyage clay lightener that I've gotten all over me because I didn't wear a cape. I'm doing well, thank you. Unfortunately, I won't be able to save that. I wasn't able to save that live. I'm so sorry. So I was showing a zigzag technique. I teach the most of the color classes at the Moroccan Oil Academy. So if you haven't joined us at the Academy, please feel free to join us. So I was showing a zigzag technique for a nice diffused look. Okay, so for some of you that were still here, I'm still showing you. Okay. So the reason I placed I explained a little earlier. I like our clay lightener because I love the texture of it. I like the Blonde Voyage powder lightener as well. It actually lifts a little bit cooler than the Blonde Voyage clay, but in most cases the Blonde Voyage does perfectly fine. So the reason I'm using a clay and a foil, and you can never use more than 20 volume, I want to make that really, really clear. It's meant for open air, so in a foil, never above a 20 volume, okay? It's just too strong for that. So I put it in foil because I prefer foils, but there are times that I hand paint and it still gives beautiful lift. I would just increase the volume. But for this, I was showing you a zigzag placement and how you can use a zigzag placement to give you peaks and valleys of light and depth. I'm not from Brazil. You're the second person that asked me that. I'm from New Jersey. And I tease it. And then the zigzag parting, the high and low and the thick part gives me dimension, right? So when I let all of this hair down, I'm going to have a beautiful blended result. And that allows me to tone a little bit easier. I don't have to use two toners if I don't want to. I can use my teasing as a way to diffuse the color and to give a dark to light gradient look, okay? So I'm just going to do this one more foil because unfortunately the other one got deleted. I like to place it on my foil first to make sure I get underneath, right? And I'm going to do a back and forth motion to make sure it's nice and saturated. And then I mentioned earlier that I still like to go up into the cheese because I like to make sure that I don't have a line of demarcation. So if you leave it like this, it is more likely to leave a line of demarcation, and we don't want that, right? For those of you who just came, I also did an Argan ID gloss on my model. And I'm going to finish her color today and post the final on my page, which is at Ruby Red Roots. Okay? So that was my technique. I'm not going to go back. Sorry, y'all, that just came. But I'm just going to finish explaining this in the front. And then I will blow her out so that you can see it. We're almost at her part line. So I'm using a pivoting placement. And I am going off of her part line and doing a teasy light in between. And I mentioned that I do my teasy light, or I should say my my tip out. I do my tip out as I go when I'm doing dark hair, because you don't want to leave. You want to make sure that it has enough time to lift and that you're not stuck like removing foils in between. Okay. So I'm pivoting, working off the part line. Thank you. And this is going to give her some really nice brightness around the face without it being a strong money piece, okay? I also explained that when you have a client that's going back and forth between natural and straight hair, sometimes they don't want a strong money piece because it doesn't really read well when they wear their hair curly, okay? So a light tease here. I'm gonna have to show you all my final on my page because I've been on here a while now. And I'm so sad that the lost connection and I didn't save it. So using my clay lightener and making sure that I feather up into that tease so that I don't have a strong line of demarcation, right? Feel free to ask some questions the last couple minutes. And again, sometimes, like in this case, I will tease everything below the occipital bone, right? And then up here, either I'll tease really heavily or I won't tease at all because I want to make sure that this is dark up here and it pushes everything in the front and makes it look lighter, okay? We need dark to make things look light. So again, I'm teasing heavily in here. Going in. So let's talk about really quickly what we learned a little bit, right? I started off with our Argan ID gloss, which is 1 part permanent color cream Rhapsody with Moroccan oil, 1 part conditioner, usually our moisture repair, and 1 part of developer between level 5 and 20 peroxide, 5, 10, or 15 peroxide. And you leave that for about 15 minutes, okay? That's gonna give you a beautiful, seamless result. It's a great way to pre-tone. It's a great way to tone in general. It leaves the hair conditioned. It's a great way to softly blend dark tones into light. And it's an express toner. You can leave it at the sink while you do it, right? So again, in here, I'm going to tease heavily. And then on the last ones, I'm going to tease really, really heavy. Or in some cases, I don't do it at all. I just leave the dark. And we let the highlights break up the top. Bless you. Right? Saturation is going to give us the best lift. We're never going to leave it half saturated unless you're doing it because maybe the hair is previously lightened and you don't want it to lift that well, right? There's a reason for everything. But definitely know your reason before you do it, okay? So last piece. And I'm going to rinse, tone, and blow dry this so you all can see it, okay? And see what it does. So based on your client's haircut, this may be a great way. They have layers, a really nice face frame. This is a great way to give them a nice pop, mostly around the face. Leave the top dark. So my last highlight in here. Any questions before I go? Working off the part line here. Feel free to ask any questions before I leave. Again, I have a class coming up this coming week in the Academy. It's our trend collection class. It's 3 days. Myself, a look made for myself, Gonzalo, who is based in Argentina, and Kumi, who is based in Japan. I'll be teaching the color and cuts that we created. We are on the global trend team for Moroccan oil. You'll also see us in Vegas if you're coming to Vegas. We definitely hope to see you there. This is our first one, and it's going to be a time. So for instance, here, I'm going to leave this dark because I want this to hang over, right? And in here, I'm going to tease almost till there's no more. And don't be afraid of teasing, right? You can rinse your highlights and then do some serious conditioning. Even on curly hair, I tease everyone. Don't be shocked. My clients are always like, oh my God, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh my God, don't worry, I got this. Okay. I also have a curls and coils class coming up in June in New York. It's a 3-day class. We have a live model. And we are teaching cut and color on curly hair using Moroccan Oil Portfolio. So if you haven't used it, I highly recommend you try it. We have beautiful demi glosses. If you're not in the States, we have demi cream. And we have our color Rhapsody. That's our color Calypso, our demi. And then our permanent is our color Rhapsody. And then we have our our powder lightener and our clay lightener. So I'm gonna let this process, and then I am going to post the results on my page, which is at Ruby Red Roots. I will be in New York this 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. I'll also be there for in June. And I'm gonna post this final, even though it cut off the beginning, I am gonna post this last part so that I can hopefully post this on my page, okay? I'm gonna see if I can do that. So we went through here, we did the back, we did the zigzag, and I will post the final so that you can see what this looks like. I do apologize that it was deleted, but hopefully you all can follow and see the final. I'm gonna put it in here. That's my page, Ruby Red Roots, and I will see you all soon. Thank you.